Up here's where your biggest risks hide: leaks, mold, and expensive damage. Most commercial roofs fail slowly until they fail big. Why rip it off when you can restore it? Our silicone coatings stop leaks, prevent mold, and extend your roof life without the high replacement cost. It's a 30-year watertight roof, energy efficient, leak-free, and half the cost of replacement. And it's backed by GE's manufacturer warranties. Facility managers love this. No disruption, no tear-off, and long-term protection for your property. Trust Absolute Restoration for your commercial roof.
Community is the way we find our strength and share our hope. It's the way dinner on the table brings a family closer together. It's the way we make sure his first chapter book is the first step on his path to greatness. It's the way we rally in hard times and rise back up stronger than ever. United is the way we come together so everyone can thrive. Join us at unitedway.org.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 6.
Well, good evening and welcome into Mississippi Live Weather at 6. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynor, and I know we saw you guys about an hour ago, but conditions have actually cooled off even since we talked to you guys about an hour ago. So shows that the atmosphere is always changing and shows a little sneak peek at what we're going to be getting into overnight, and that is another cool night ahead. But that's just one of the many things we're tracking here in the Room to Room Weather Center. The dry air reigning supreme. That's a big story into the next 7 days. One of the things we'll be talking about this evening is the extended outlook, temperature-wise and rainfall-wise, just what we expect not just over the next 7, but the next 14, the next 30 days, everything we need to know for the entire month of September and heading into that fall season. Gradual warming trend, I spoke over the next 7 days. Well, that's a big story whenever we look at that week's forecast, and of course, where'd the rain go? A big question that we're continuing to ask in regards to that drier weather. When those next rain chances are, we'll have the latest details on that here in just a moment. So the first 12, 7 p.m., 75 degrees, showing that temperatures are already cooling off, 10 p.m., 64. And take a look at overnight. I mean, tomorrow morning as we head out the door, we're talking about 59 degrees, and that's actually the higher end of the spectrum. As whenever we look at the grand scheme of North Mississippi, well, a few areas are actually going to be even cooler than that. So excited? Nah, that's an understatement whenever it comes to the Maynor household, because we love some cooler conditions and love when it starts to feel like that fall season. 82 degrees there in Batesville, so it is going to be a beautiful forecast, but temperature is going to be warming as the week goes on. So enjoy those 81s, because that will start to increase through the latter part of our work week. And not just in Batesville, but also over there towards Winona, 84 degrees. And you can see a big reason why that cooler air is in place. Right there with those winds, 8 miles an hour out of the northeast. That's bringing in some cooler, drier air, and will continue to do so until that high pressure fully moves out of the area and then makes way for that warming trend, like I mentioned once again. And Starkville, I mean, I was fully expecting the balloons to still be out and the parties to still be going because of the electric atmosphere that it was this weekend. Well, now the electric atmosphere comes with the actual atmosphere as temperatures warm up into the next several days, and students go from wearing long sleeves in the mornings to more of those shorts and t-shirts there towards the afternoon. Yeah, it's going to be that dressing for two forecast type thing that we know and love here in North Mississippi this time of year. Mississippi Live Weather Radar, like I mentioned, a dry forecast in place. No rainfall to report on the North Mississippi side of things, and really on the entire state of Mississippi. Looking at that satellite imagery too, we can showcase that there's not anything to note with cloud cover either. Staying dry, staying clear. And as we expand things out, we can see that a lot of that cloud cover primarily out there towards Alabama, some of that slightly getting into the Golden Triangle region, and that's where we're going to see some of that cloud cover linger. And of course, some of those temperatures not cool off as much. But I'm trying to pull up something behind the scenes right here, because Chief Meteorologist Matt Laupon posted this with letting us know that Langston and Lott, sponsoring our Friday night forecast, excited to work with them and partner with them whenever it comes to our Friday night game of the week, and whenever it comes to some of our where we're going and all of those football forecasts. So excited to partner with them. But he did post on his page, and I'm going to still work on this behind the scenes. Bear with me one moment. Okay, you know what? We can pull it up right here. So let me find this. Bear with me one moment. I believe it's this. Hang on one second. Yes, so right here. So here you see that it's week 3 it's week 3 of college football season 2, but high school football season, and nominations are open for our Mississippi Live Game of the Week. We're asking, where do you want us to go this Friday night? A lot of games to choose from, and we're excited to go wherever you guys tell us to go. But again, that's all decided by you. And also a big thank you to our partner Langston a lot for allowing all that to take place and just going to be with us for this journey every Friday night, providing you guys with that weather information, also providing you with that live coverage out in the field. I got to be with you guys last Friday night, and let me tell you, concession stands over there in Baldwin, you guys are doing a phenomenal job. Keep it up. Keep up the great work. But can't wait to see that again this Friday night and head to wherever you guys tell us. So put those submissions in the comments, like I mentioned, on Matt's Facebook page, and then we'll put the top 3 out tomorrow for the poll of where you guys want us to go. And then from there, Band of the Week, Cheer of the Week. You know the ordeal. We're week 3 now. This is becoming a usual thing. So let's get back to the forecast. I just wanted to give a shout out to Langston a lot because that is our partner. And again, we're very excited to work with them in that future forecasting for those Friday nights. So satellite, again, staying on the drier side, staying on the clearer side, and just extending this out, we can definitely see that we are going to be staying on the drier side as a result of a lot of that moisture staying with those frontal boundaries towards the Gulf and out towards the Atlantic. A lot of those showers staying there, and high pressure. We see it right there on the northeast side of the United States, cycling in some of that drier air around into North Mississippi. But you do see, as this starts to shift more towards the east-northeast, this wind starts to shift more from a directly north into more of a northeast. And so that's a big story because this is actually going to still remain dry and still remain cool, but that is slowly starting to shift. And high pressure, as we continue to take it further towards the northeast, then we'll start to get more of this southerly wind associated with it because, of course, it has this clockwise rotation to it. So we get these winds that are going from the north to the south on the east side of the high, and then on the west side, we're talking about south to north. So that's where we're getting it right here in North Mississippi. So some of that warmer air and some of that moisture pushing back into the forecast, and that's where we're going to see that temperature trend really increase for the midweek portion of our forecast and even towards the latter week portion of our forecast. There we see high pressure moving up there towards the main area, that frontal boundary keeping a lot of the moisture further to the south, but watch as that high just really pushes up there towards Maine, and that's where we'll see a lot of that drier and cooler air go with it. And then we start to get some of that action back there with that southerly wind starting to push back into the area, and that's where we could be seeing a little bit of that warming trend take place by Tuesday afternoon, but really towards our Wednesday as well. So Tuesday, staying on the drier side, but we are paying attention to that change of the atmosphere, that shift in the atmosphere for what we can expect for the rest of our work week. Just grateful for all the dry conditions that we can get because that means that we get to go outside, but there is some cost with that, and that is, of course, watering our plants. So please make sure to continue to do that. 59 degrees by 6, 81 by noon, and 87 by 3. That's where we top out tomorrow afternoon, a few degrees a few degrees warmer from where we're at right now. But watch the winds, northeast at 3 miles an hour, east-southeast by 6, and that's where it'll be for the remainder of our day, and like east about 5 miles an hour. So still some breezy conditions, but those winds starting to shift, and that's going to change our forecast into that next several days. That's one of the things we'll be walking through here on Mississippi Live Weather at 6 in the next 60 is, of course, that temperature outlook, how long that dry air sticks around for, and everything you need to know for the rest of your work week ahead. We'll have all that here from the Room to Room Weather Center on Mississippi Live Weather at 6 in the next 60.
Your family deserves the most beautiful smile possible. At Tupelo Smiles, we use precision dentistry and advanced technology to make visiting the dentist an amazing experience. Relationship-based comprehensive care. Come discover the difference at Tupelo Smiles.
March 24th, 2023 was a normal Friday. You know, we knew the weather was not good, but we needed to take shelter, and we didn't have shelter. My husband and almost 2-year-old daughter, Ethan and Riley, they did lose their lives in the storm. We're still recovering from it. We'll always be recovering from it. Matt Laupon cares about the community. He's not just there to collect a paycheck. I feel like Matt Laupon has proven himself trustworthy.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
Well, welcome back into the Room to Room Weather Center. What we're tracking here is dry conditions, and that'll continue to be our story today, tomorrow, the next day. How many days do we want to go? Because it's really for the next 7 days on that outlook. And so it's just that dry pattern that we're in right now, and what will soon be a summer pattern as some of that summer heat gradually builds back in. Currently, Mississippi Live Weather Radar staying in that clear air mode, meaning drier air is in place. But as we look at that extended outlook, we can see the reason why is that frontal boundary has pushed a lot of the moisture there towards the Gulf and the Atlantic, keeping us dry, not just in Mississippi, but all across the southeast. So we're going to be enjoying that. And I want to say, and a little note with this, that we had some people in chat that were asking, I believe it was Miss Patty, asking about when do you think the best chance of rainfall will be? Well, actually looking behind the scenes at those extended outlooks, and we'll track that here in just a moment, this front was really our best chance of rainfall over the next 7 days. That continuing to push a lot of this moisture out there east into the Atlantic. And what we're going to be left with is a few of these patterns that try to pop up some of these showers and thunderstorms there towards Kansas. Not exactly a forcing mechanism that's propelling this moisture into our area. So we're staying on this drier pattern for quite a while. That's the unfortunate part about it. Looking at far extended models, and we can of course track this in more detail here in just a moment, that's where we do have the potential of seeing one of those fronts try to push into the area by the time that fall season hits, and that's unfortunately about 2 weeks away. That's our best chance of rainfall right now, and hopefully that doesn't verify, because we know that extended forecast can and will change. But get used to seeing a lot of this, sunshine and blue skies, because that's where our forecast will be for the next several days. Crenshaw, 81 degrees, dew point currently at 48, so it is a cooler forecast. It is a drier forecast, and definitely a time to take advantage of some of those outdoor plans. Maven, 81 degrees, dew point around 63, so slightly higher in those dew points, but I mean, it's not really making much of a difference, right? Because we're still getting a large part of those blue skies and sunshine. Now, as we take a look out west there towards Rolling Fork, I do want to note that 82 degrees, dew point around 55, blue skies across the region. I was talking yesterday about how some of the cloud cover could result in some of that haziness, getting a little bit of that. And I know it's kind of hard to see, you got to squint your eyes just a bit, but that's why that little bit of sun getting blocked there, that's just that little bit of haziness that's a thin layer way high up in the atmosphere. Not really blanketing the sky, but being seen in a large part of North Mississippi. Day planner for this evening, 8 p.m., 70 degrees, 64 by 10 and 62 by midnight. You do see those clouds gradually clearing out, and those clear conditions actually making way for those, once again, very cool conditions for tomorrow morning. Futurecast tracking exactly that cloud cover pushing out there towards Alabama, leaving us with mostly clear conditions right now. I will say, Futurecast actually overdoing how much cloud cover we're seeing right now. So some of their temperatures, I'm actually going to bump those down a few notches because of that clearing already taking place. And yes, it does matter whenever we're forecasting some of those temperatures. But looking at around 6 a.m., dry conditions across the region, but low temperatures, like I mentioned, a lot of upper 50s popping up, but I would not be surprised to see some areas around 55 or 54 degrees, especially with all the clearing that's taken place. Columbus showcasing 64, 62 down around Macon and Starkville. Probably going to be upper 50s, low 60s as a result of some of that cloud cover already shifting away from the region. So your school day forecast, cool to start, but warm as we wrap it up. 59 degrees by drop-off, 86 towards the last bell. Partly cloudy conditions continue to build throughout the day. It's just going to be off and on cloud cover, so don't be alarmed by it. It'll just be your typical cloud cover, maybe blocking a little bit of that sunshine, but that's the most it'll do. No rain chances expected with it. So Tuesday morning, staying on the drier side, there's a look at those partly cloudy conditions. Some of our models trying to pop up a few showers. Let me tell you why that's not going to happen. Reason why is because these winds have been pushing out of the northeast, now starting to shift more towards an easterly point as of Tuesday mid-morning. But that's not exactly blowing in a moist forecast, and we need a lot of moisture to overcome the very dry conditions that we've been in. So the fact that we're getting this easterly wind pushing into North Mississippi does not make me confident on rain chances for even a pop-up shower. So I have us staying dry for our mid-morning, for our late morning, and even there towards the lunch hour. So don't be alarmed by that and don't expect any rainfall. The only thing that we'll need to be packing extra for is maybe an extra layer as you head out the door tomorrow morning. So lunchtime staying beautiful and clear and cool. We'll take it. 1:30, 3 o'clock, continuing that same trend. But temperature-wise, we are gradually increasing as each afternoon passes. So we'll see here in just a moment that Tuesday afternoon actually going to be slightly warmer than where we sat today. A few low 90s actually popping up there towards Bruce, Grenada, Tunica, Clarksdale. Rest of us upper 80s with 87 Tupelo, Amory, and 89 around Columbus. Heated seas at least showcasing that drier air still in place despite that warming trend moving in. So that's where summer becomes a little bit more of a miserable forecast, at least in my opinion, is whenever you add that humidity and mugginess to it. The fact we're not getting that, I would say this is still a bearable forecast despite it being slightly warmer. Overnight stays dry, stays clear, and we'll continue to enjoy that into the start of our Wednesday as well. And honestly, temperatures Wednesday morning actually going to be a few degrees warmer, so not going to be as cool if you've woken up and been kind of startled by how I'm going to say chilly it was. Well, not going to be the case as much for our Wednesday as that cloud cover kind of acting like a blanket over the sky. Now this model, very aggressive in our rain chances, tries to pop up a few isolated showers. Again, why is this not happening? At this point, you guys could tell me. Coming out of the northeast there, that wind going to be blowing in those drier conditions. So similar to what we're seeing on Tuesday, wind's just not exactly in the right fashion or the right orientation to produce some pop-up showers, especially with that dry forecast that we have to overcome. So Wednesday, staying dry once again, and plenty of clear skies overnight, so we're going to see those temperatures drop once again heading into the start of our Thursday. But looking at our Wednesday forecast, the story starts to become more of the heat. Low 90s across the region, 86 and 87 there towards Red Bay and Hamilton, the lone exceptions, but 90 degrees Houston, Amory, 91 Bruce, 93 Greenwood, 93 there towards Tunica, showcases that gradual warming trend over the next few days. And so that's going to be what becomes our big story from here on out. Heat indices still having that drier air in place, so still a bearable forecast. But let's look at those rain chances, or should I say the lack thereof, because the next 7 days we have basically 0%. And that's a result of the pattern that we're in. High pressure dominating our area and cycling in some of that drier air. So several of us asking, when is that next front going to be moving in? Unfortunately, not going to be anytime soon. So that day planner Tuesday shows those dry conditions, 59 around 7, 81 there towards noon, and 87 is where we top out at on our Tuesday. But then we get into Wednesday, 90 degrees back in the forecast. Thursday, 93, Friday, 94, and we're going to be reaching as high as 95 degrees over the next 7 days. So summer, did you miss it? Well, at least you're getting a little bit of that back in those last few weeks of summer that are left. So no surprise that we're in the 95s, but still above average. So we'll definitely be expecting some cooler conditions beyond that point. Mid 60s is where our lows start to get to. So we're not going to be waking up to 48 degrees if you were in Corinth this morning, or 52 if you were in the Tupelo area. All of those start to trend slightly warmer along with those high temperatures. So looking in the chat, I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. I don't believe we are. So if you have any questions in chat about the next 7-day forecast, go ahead and put that in there, because I would love to walk through any questions you may have and answer those here very briefly. But we are going to be following us up at 6 with another look at that extended outlook, not the 7-day. We're talking 8 to 14 and even the next 30 days of what to expect heading into that fall season. Temperature-wise, rainfall-wise, everything you need to know here on Mississippi Live Weather at 6. We'll see you back here in the next minute.
Hey, you there! Ever try to do something in under 6 minutes? Anything, like say, grow a beard. I bet you can't. At Sweet Pepper's Deli, you get quality food in under 6 minutes. Now how about that? Sweet Pepper's Deli, life is sweet.
Community is the way we find our strength and share our hope. It's the way dinner on the table brings a family closer together. It's the way we make sure his first chapter book is the first step on his path to greatness. It's the way we rally in hard times and rise back up stronger than ever. United is the way we come together so everyone can thrive. Join us at unitedway.org.
So here you're getting a look at what is the precipitation outlook for the next 10 to 14 days. This is September 14th through September 18th. And as you can see, it is a very dry pattern that is going to be in place for North Mississippi and the entire state of Mississippi. We're basically in that bullseye. Yesterday evening, that bullseye was actually basically North Mississippi altogether. So showcasing 14th through 18th, not looking any better in regards to those rain chances. A lot of those rain chances still remain out there towards our western neighbors, talking North Texas, northern Oklahoma, and there towards western Kansas. But whenever we look at the following week, moving into this should be in play. Let me make sure that this is all good to go. Okay, there we go. Precipitation outlook for September 16th through the 22nd. We can still see that, albeit it's not an overly dry forecast, but it's still on the drier side whenever we look at our scale right there, just slightly on the drier side for North Mississippi. So not getting back into that wet forecast, that wet pattern that we've been in the past few weeks, and right around the eastern side of our viewing area, at least around average. So we'll take what we can get at this point. At least that looks a little bit better than the 14th through 18th did. So watching for those limited rain chances on that next 2 2-week time frame, but I did say September 22nd is when that fall season starts to push in, and that's where I see our first possible frontal boundary trying to reach into our area. So we'll be fingers crossed on that forecast because we definitely need that rainfall. But let's go ahead and assess temperatures, because temperature is also going to be a big story, because whenever we talk about drought, that's lack of rainfall, and that's of course warmer temperatures drying up the land. So here's a look at your temperature outlook for the 14th through 18th once again, and you can see how far we are on that scale in regards to that warmer threshold. So right there in North Mississippi, Northwest Alabama, further into Arkansas, Louisiana, and Eastern Texas. So a large portion of the United States staying above average for this time of year on our 30-year average. So that's unfortunate in regards to that drought monitor. But then it gets even worse. 16th through the 22nd, staying on that warmer side right there for the entirety of our viewing area, North Mississippi, Northwest Alabama, even as far east as Birmingham and Montgomery. So we're unfortunately not exactly in a recipe for success forecast, as I'd call it. So we are staying dry. Drought monitor right now still has those level 1 conditions towards the Golden Triangle. That I really expect to get worse. Level 2 conditions reaching across Highway 6 and just north of Highway 82, well into the Mississippi Delta, with level 3 not very far away, right there on the eastern side of Arkansas. Highlighting our area in particular, you can see that drought with the few areas there towards Aberdeen, West Point, Starkville, technically fine on the drought monitor, but I do expect this to encompass those areas and much more, if not getting worse, to that level 3 drought monitor condition whenever that Thursday drought monitor comes out. So anticipating it, but not exactly anticipating it in a good way. And a good way to kind of tell why we're under these drought conditions is percent of normal precipitation. I've had folks that tell me, well, Gabe, we've gotten plenty of rainfall. Why are we not good on the drought monitor? Well, the thing about it is you need rain over an extended period of time. So having 4 or 5 inches of rainfall in one day, I mean, it helps kind of, but if you spread that out 1 inch a day for 5 days, it's going to do more damage on the drought monitor than having all 5 inches in one day. And so that's where we've been in, is getting a lot of heavy rainfall in a short period of time. So that's why percent of normal precipitation there towards Batesville 45%, Ripley about 22%. Here in Tupelo, we're talking 70%. So way far away from that 100% normal precipitation that we do need. But some folks down there, like I mentioned, towards the Clay County area, about 109%, so just slightly above that average mark, 183% towards Choctaw County, and even higher out there towards Attala County, 188%. So we're tracking that because this is going to get worse over the next 4 days as we head into that new drought monitor, just because of those dry conditions that we're in. There is a good thing with the dry conditions, and that's that we can get some stuff done outside. So if you want to go outside this evening, 75 degrees around 7, 64 towards 10, and 61 by 1 a.m. Plenty of clear skies to do so, plenty of dry air to do so. So definitely a great time to do what we need to outside, get some of those chores done, mow those lawns. The last couple times of the year, hey, we're trending towards fall, and so those lawns needing to be mowed less and less, but still a couple of them that I know need to be touched. Ours here in a couple of days, so we'll get there, and we'll definitely take advantage of this dry weather here at the Maynor household. So I'm not seeing any questions in chat, so I believe that means that everyone is content with the forecast, right? Well, if not, we will talk about it more tonight at 10 on the more details with the latest models, hopefully popping up a few of those showers, but again, not overly high on that. I do have us staying dry for a very extended period of time. You can download the app to track those dry conditions or track those temperatures tomorrow morning as you head out the door. iOS and Android right here at my bottom left and right, so make sure to go to the App Store again and download that today. A big thank you to everyone who's just been a part of this journey. Once again, cannot thank you guys enough, and for just making this all possible. And speaking of, you guys do have some homework. Make sure to go to Matt Lobhon, his page, and submit your vote of what game you want us to be at this week. I've seen some folks vote for Itawamba and New Albany. That has been a hot commodity here over the on that page, but we also know there's several other games going on in the area, and we want to cover all of North Mississippi, so just let us know where you want us to go, and we will make it happen. So that poll comes out tomorrow with the top 3 choices, and you guys can choose from there. But go ahead and put your submissions in his poll, or in his page tonight, and we'll get that together this evening. You can, of course, check us out. Our next broadcast tonight at 10 on Mississippi Live Weather, and our morning shows 6:37 and 7:30 with meteorologist Maggie McCauley, walking you through the latest, and the latest will be cool temperatures tomorrow morning. We'll again talk more details about that tonight at 10.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
March 24th, 2023 was a normal Friday. You know, we knew the weather was not good, but we needed to take shelter, and we didn't have shelter. My husband and almost 2-year-old daughter, Ethan and Riley, they did lose their lives in the storm. We're still recovering from it. We'll always be recovering from it. Matt Lawpon cares about the community. He's not just there to collect a paycheck. I feel like Matt Lawpon has proven himself trustworthy.